Happy holidays from Boise, where number 22 Utah State has a touchdown lead on Toledo as we start the fourth quarter. This game got off to an awful start for the Rockets when their defensive leader and the nation's leading tackler, Dan Moles, took a shot to the head on the opening kickoff. That remains the only time he was on the field today. And then later in the first half, they lost their starting running back, David Fluellen, who re-aggravated a left ankle injury. Utah State got it going offensively with the option game. Chucky Keaton with his 62-yard touchdown run. Remains our only touchdown of the game. And as we take a look at today's storyline, brought to you by K Jewelers, you see the particulars: Moles out, Fluellen out, and Keaton has accounted for 314 yards.
And Terrence Owens hasn't played. So.
Utah State to punt it away. Reedy says back away from it. And looked like one of Mike Bellotti's wedges with a little backspin at the 16 on the blue turf. And for the first time today, Terrence Owens is starting to get loose.
You know, they said he warmed up and looked good in warm-ups and then standing around for a long time. But the reality is maybe he's just getting warmed up, get loose, and they feel they need him.
He took over the starting job against Wyoming, was the MAC West Player of the Week, second game of the season, 300 yards passing and 4 touchdowns in that game. Finished the season last year and got a bowl win in the Military Bowl. Was 6th in the nation in passing efficiency and was their starter for the bulk of the season. Now battling an ankle injury in for the first time. And hands it off to Reedy, and Reedy gets stopped for a loss of 1.
The interesting thing is he hasn't played live football in 3 to 4 weeks. And so when will he be able to run and move the way he needs to? Anticipate the throws. They do believe he's got a better mid-range arm in terms of throwing the balls down the field, the 15 to 20 yard type routes.
It's been about a 30-day layoff for Owens, 25 for the rest of the team. Didn't play in the finale against Akron. He did not practice at all last week, but he practiced this entire week here in Boise. To throw for the first time, and the lefty lets it go. Complete, not perfect, but he got it to Cordell Scott. And that'll set up 3rd and 2. Terrence Owens, Jr. from Cleveland out of Glenville High School.
And he runs well, he throws well. They love what he did this year, led him to 8 straight victories. And he has the combination of good arm down the field, good accuracy, but he can also tuck it and run when needed.
He struggled in that loss against Northern Illinois through 3 picks. And then 22 of 32. Last time he's seen game action. Extra man comes and he gets rid of it, complete for a first down, finding Justin Olag. It's pretty good timing for a guy who's been out of game action.
Yeah, and one of the things they talked about was Terrence Owens, they felt, could make all the throws to all the different receivers. And he just does it naturally, whether it's down the field, zipping it to the sideline. I guarantee you it's different for the Utah State defense now seeing a left-hander throw when you've been used to seeing the ball come out of the right side of the quarterback.
4 wide here. He wants to throw again to the out route again, and incomplete. Coverage by Will Davis on Alonzo Russell.
And Will Davis has been a little quiet tonight. They haven't thrown at him, or he hasn't been able to make too many plays. Nice tight coverage in that regard. He broke on the ball and helped break it up.
Davis leads the nation in passes defended, 1.75 a game, and has 5 straight games with a pick. The senior from Spokane, Washington. On the sweep, they want to throw back to Owens. He's open. And he's stuck at the 40-yard line, but picks up the first down. Will Davis stayed home to make the tackle. Dwight Macon took the handoff, turned around, and threw it. He's their 3rd-string quarterback.
And I can tell you that he must obviously be healthy. You wouldn't do this with a gimpy, lame quarterback. Throw it back to him where he's going to get tackled in the open field. So I'm surprised somewhat he hasn't been in the game earlier.
Owens down the sideline, off the hands of Alonzo Russell. May have been a game changer.
Busting the coverage right there. I don't know if the corner got beat or the safety didn't get over the top, but the reality was that was a great throw by Owens. He spun that down the field, and Russell is sick at himself right now for not being able to catch it. Maybe hurt slightly too. Tried to catch that one off the side and just couldn't quite get it done.
Davis was the nearest cornerback, and they said they wanted to challenge Will Davis today. They're not sure that he saw the kind of wide receiver speed throughout the season in the WAC that Toledo has. Play clock close again. Owens will keep it on the zone read. He's got room, and he's brought down by a handful of jersey, and a flag on the play. May have been a face mask as well. Boje Filimoyatu with the stop.
He's obviously providing a spark with both his legs and his arm. The ball is coming out.
After
his
the
decision
play,
making.
personal foul, defense, number 20, late hit, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It was Devontae Glover Wright who drew the flag.
And we've talked about this is a one-possession ball game, guys. They're down there now getting a chance to potentially tie this game up.
Last time they came this close, Danton threw an interception. Cassius McDowell is now in at running back. First series of the game for Terrence Owens, who has 10 starts under his belt this season. Reedy in motion. Owens caught and then dropped. He had it in his hands, but when Justin Olak got his feet down, the ball came out as well.
Too bad. That ball comes out a little fast. There's no question that the intensity of the ball being thrown by Terrence Owens is stronger than Austin Danton. This ball is spun well. It's thrown high only where you get it. Unfortunate. Great job by the defender of actually getting his hand in there, knocking the ball out.
Makes sense that he would have a lively fastball. Terrence Owens was drafted in the 40th round by the Padres, even though he hasn't played baseball since he was in 9th grade. Reedy gets to the edge, and he takes it to the 20. That was nearly a horse collar tackle, and that's what head coach Matt Campbell was asking for.
If he had taken him down immediately, it probably could have been called. But the fact that did not take him down immediately, ran 3 more steps, they usually let that go.
3rd and 1. Reedy with 7 carries here in the second half. Got to guard against the run, don't you? The quarterback run?
Absolutely. Anything here. That's why it's an either or down. You can run it, you can throw it, you can run it a variety of ways. Most people wouldn't even take the ball off the line of scrimmage in this situation.
They fake the sweep. McDowell muscles his way to a first down for Toledo.
But every defense in that situation has to stop it from the inside out. So you're going to plug the inside gaps, and then hopefully you run them to the sideline.
Let's look ahead a little bit towards the tail end of this drive. Is Toledo in a position where they would go for it on 4th down?
Very much could, because, you know, how many possessions they're going to get. I think it depends on the trust they have in the quarterback. And obviously, I'm not sure why they waited till the 4th quarter. I think that'll be a big question for us after the game and during the game about if Terrence Owens is healthy, why hasn't he played earlier?
Good things come to those who wait, I believe. David Pascal joins him in the backfield. Owens over the middle, tips and incomplete. That's how they got their last pick. It was in Jake Dowdy, tipped it, and Dowdy got his hands on another one.
And that is the same idea, that zone dropping linebacker, reading the quarterback's eyes and just continuing to find the ball. You get more tip balls that way, and hopefully result in a lot more interceptions. Second and 10 here. You're trying to get back to a manageable 3rd down. It depends on what the defense gives you, because you still have a shot to the end zone too.
Reedy straight ahead, slips his way through and makes it down to the 13. Dowdy with the stop.
Nice move, and he put them in a very manageable, 3rd and 4 or 5 situation where now it's an either or down. Now it doesn't put the advantage defense. It's more offensively, you still can run for it. You've got power run with the quarterback run. You've got option, but you've also got routes that can catch the ball. 5-yard routes that catches the ball for the first down.
Toledo goes 5 wide on 3rd and 5.
Big cushion at the top on all the receivers.
Owens complete inside the 10 to David Pascal, and he's going to be short of the marker.
Well, here we are. We're going to talk about it right now. It looks to me as if they're going to go for it rather than kick a field goal. So that may have answered our question about whether this was 4-down territory.
They gave away points to Utah State by declining a penalty in the second quarter. And now they're going to pass on the 3 here, down by a touchdown. 4th and 1.
Big opportunity for Utah State. Demonstrate their prowess in the red zone.
Play clock winding with the shifts, and they got to use a timeout.
My gosh, my gosh, my gosh. I tell you what, you cannot allow that to happen. I keep talking about the fact that from a coaching perspective, you either need to call a play, get your substitution group in earlier. If you have that many shifts and motions, you can't run that play.
Well, the silver lining here, Toledo gets a chance to talk about the biggest play of the game, facing a 4th and 1. Fourth quarter and a touchdown game. Toledo trailing and facing a 4th and 1. Communication and timing has been a big issue for the Rockets today. They've burned 3 timeouts, avoiding delay of game penalties, and they've been flagged twice for delay of game. And coach, it comes down to communicating from the press box all the way down to the field to the quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're trying to be too cute or too fine in matching up the defense, matching up protections, but you've got to make that decision earlier. You've got to eliminate the shifts in motion, one or the other. And
now a 4th and 1. Pascal is the running back next to Terrence Owens, who just entered to start this series. This could be the game. They're going to put Owens under center. Now he backs and they shift again. Owens will take it himself. He's hit behind the line and stopped. A.J. Patayali is the first one there.
They tried to run a quarterback power where they pull the off guard. They had lead blockers for him. They could not create a hole. He tried to go just north and south and use his own power and speed. Didn't quite make it. That's a great job by the Utah State defense in terms of stepping up. Here you can see it. The off guard pulls. He steps up. Might have had a chance to go outside, but tried to go the shortest distance. Did not have a chance to make that first down.
So the defense coming up big, a top 15 defense in the nation. And the defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda, is fired up.
He should be. He deserves to be. It's a great stand.
So they turn him over on downs. Utah State takes it away. And now it's up to the Toledo defense playing without their key player. And the ball is loose. Toledo takes it away. It came out of the hands of Williams, and the Rockets will get another chance. Jermaine Robinson with the recovery. Welcome to bowl season.
Talk about why coaches get gray. You see this head right here? That's interception. That's a lot of plays where you thought you had a first down, and all of a sudden the ball goes the other direction. Ball ripped out there, just knocked out. And unfortunately for the Rockets, they get a chance now. They're back inside the 30-yard line, looking at another opportunity to tie this game up.
Second fumble recovery of the season for Jermaine Robinson. Their 14-play drive got him nothing, and now they'll start over with great field position and a second series for Terrence Owens. Reedy has a blocker in front, and the convoy takes him to a gain of nearly 9 on first down before Jake Dowdy brings him down.
And if you get Reedy ahead of steam, where he can follow a blocker through the hole, he's really dangerous at bouncing it and be gone.
Reedy again. First down carry, and he is whistled out of bounds. Will Davis there to take him out. First and 10, Toledo. It's the WAC versus the MAC, and as we get late in the fourth quarter, this would officially qualify as MACtion. Fifth trip into the red zone. Toledo's only managed 6 points. Now to the power back Pasquale, and picks up a few on first down. Let me ask you this. We're at nearly midway through the fourth quarter. It was 4-down territory on the last possession. Is there any reason it wouldn't be 4-down territory again?
Yes, because they got stopped on that 4th down play, a 4th and 1. So I think they would take points out of it and get it. Now, it could still be 4 down territory. Once you go that way, that's probably your mindset. But the reality is they need to get points. Another opportunity down here squandered would, I think, really depress the Toledo Rocket football team.
There comes Reedy. They get it to him in the flat, but it's incomplete.
That might have been a lateral. I don't think it was called that way, but it could have been by the flight of the ball. That would have been really disastrous because it would have put the ball back 5 yards.
Now 3rd and 7. Owens can scramble, directs traffic. The lefty backs up to the end zone. Incomplete. The intended receiver, Justin Olak, ran out of the back of the end zone, and Nevin Lawson was all over him. And on 4th and 7, here comes the kicking team.
Yeah, I think you got to have points. You got to get points. You got to get something out of these 2 trips down here. Here you can see sort of that trailing defense. He's open initially, but Owens is moving away from the ball at that time.
29-yard field goal attempt for Jeremiah Detmer. He's made a pair from 37 today. And so Toledo turns the takeaway into points. And a 9 spot on the board. It's a 4-point game midway through the 4th quarter on the blue turf for Boise.
ESPN College Football, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, is brought to you by the Idaho Potato Commission and the Venture Card from Capital One. Earn double miles you can actually use.
Great shots of the Boise Zoo not far from us here at Broncos Stadium. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, number 22 Utah State with a 4-point advantage on Toledo. 7:28 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Broncos of Boise State preparing for their own bowl game. Got a chance to talk with Chris Peterson today. How's his team looking?
You know, he's not as happy with his offense this year, but he's really pleased with his defense and the way they run the football. That'll be a close, tough game. It depends on which Washington team shows up because they've been very inconsistent. They've played well and beat nationally ranked teams, and then they lose the final game of the season, the in-state rival Washington State. So Chris is prepared whatever happens.
Oh, what a great sight for this bowl game and the money that they continue to pour into the facilities here. Chuck Jacobs running on that blue turf. And he's cut down at the 30-yard line. A solid return for the Aggies of Utah State. Robert Bell with the special team stop. Join us on ESPN3 at the conclusion of this game for the trophy presentation. That'll start immediately after the game ends. And the question is, who will be hoisting that trophy full of potatoes? Utah State with the lead. But Toledo has found a spark in its offense. Matt Austin with the grab, steps out of bounds. A pickup of 7 on 1st down. If you're Utah State, when do you start thinking about milking the clock a little bit with a 4-point lead?
I think you always think about it, but I think their first priority is let's score. Let's put some points on the board. Let's not worry about the 4-minute offense yet. Let's try to get a rhythm going and make some yards. Let's get some points on the board like right now.
Kerwin Williams might be able to do both in one fell swoop, and he will take it the distance. A 63-yard sprint for Williams. Good luck gate checking that crystal ball, Coach.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think like a coach. The only thing I would have said is I wish he'd taken a little bit longer to score.
Yeah. You can't run around like it's Tecmo Bowl.
I know. I thought maybe he should. I don't know. But no, they wanted a touchdown. They wanted to score points. They wanted to make that the 10 or 11-point margin that it's going to be.
Williams is the same man who coughed the ball up on the previous possession. And he takes it 63 yards.
You think maybe he thought he had something to prove after fumbling that ball? He was going to make sure that he didn't fumble it and he put it in the end zone.
Utah State didn't need much time. Who cares about the clock when you can put another 7 on the board? It's a 20-9 advantage for the Aggies out of the WAC. Utah State on top of Toledo 20-9. 6:57 to go in the fourth quarter. Kerwin Williams now over 100 yards rushing.
And what great job and patience. And you see what happens when somebody tries to Olay a block. The defense jumps out of the way. And then Kerwin Williams finds that seam, and he's not going to fumble this time. He's going to finish this thing. He got fired up just a little bit there.
He's passed Terrence Mathis for the all-time record within the WAC for all-purpose yardage. After, well, one more WAC game remaining. That's about as irrelevant a record as you can hold, I suppose.
Well,
sorry, Terrence.
It ought to last for a while, though, right? Until they bring the WAC back.
That's right. No one will pass him. Reedy wants to bring it out.
And we need a Bernard Reedy response right here. We're not going to get it.
He has to work hard to get it past the 15, out towards the 18. The Discover Orange Bowl is on ESPN New Year's night as Jordan Lynch and MAC champion Northern Illinois look to make a statement with their high-powered offense. They'll face the ACC champs Florida State with one of the top-rated and stingiest defenses in the nation. The Discover Orange Bowl, number 15 Northern Illinois versus number 12 Florida State. New Year's Day at 8:30 on ESPN. Also live on the Watch ESPN app and ESPN Radio.
Now a 2-possession deficit. I would look for Toledo to go a little bit more up-tempo here.
Owens. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. And for in the mood on the Toledo sideline, here's Quint.
Well, for the first time this afternoon, this Toledo team looks deflated. You think about how many things have not gone their way tonight. Dan Moll's injury on the opening kickoff. Their best running back, David Flowen hurt in the second quarter, and they've kept bouncing and bouncing back. But now, for the first time, they look a little deflated on the sideline.
Thanks, Quint. They've gotten a spark from Terrence Owens at quarterback. Pump and go one way, back to the other, tipped and nearly incomplete. Quint, is there any feeling that you have down on the sideline on why they took so long to get Terrence Owens into the game?
No, I don't know. I thought he warmed up well pregame. He was into the game. He stayed engaged. He was, focused and bouncing around. I did see him limp out of the locker room to start the third quarter. It looked like that ankle might have tightened up. So I was a little bit surprised when they put him in, but I have no idea why they didn't go to him any sooner, because he definitely did add a spark and add some energy.
He's thrown the ball. He's run the ball. He's caught the ball since entering here this quarter. And he's led Toledo to a scoring drive and twice take him into the red zone. Blitz coming from Davis. He gets past that and to the sideline, incomplete. Nevin Lawson was in coverage. Pasquale is the intended receiver.
You guys are absolutely right, too. Attitude and belief in yourself and the fact that you can do it. Toledo's been in a lot of close games this year. They've won some, they've lost some, but they've always fought to the end. They're not going to let down, but it's getting tougher now. Down 2 possessions with only 6.5 minutes to go.
So they put the game in the hands of their defense, punting it away. And remember, only 1 timeout remaining for Toledo after getting burned by the play clock and poor communication. Webb, fair catch at the 38. Utah State will try to salt this one away, leading by 11, 6:26 to go. Number 22, Utah State leading Toledo 20-9 with 6:26 remaining in this one from Boise. And Kerwin Williams, a former wide receiver, has found a home in the backfield, and he's been fantastic this afternoon.
He struggled early. It was tough going. Didn't find a lot of big holes, but he had to work at it. Then, unfortunately, got a chance here late to salt the thing. Lost the football, put them in a huge situation, but he came back with a run for the ages. He said, I'm not going to get caught this time. I'm not going to give up the ball until I get in the end zone to the official.
63-yard run there for Kerwin Williams, a senior from Las Vegas. 5'8", 189 pounds. 0 Division I offers coming out of high school. And here he is again. Stays on his feet and gets ripped down after picking up a 1.5 yards by Trent Voss.
Now you're probably going to see what we would call a 4-minute offense. Protect the edges with multiple tight ends, run the ball, stay in bounds, use up all the clock. If you have to throw high efficiency, low risk passes. And we'll see. They want to try and run as much clock as they can. They'd love to get some more points. But right now, with only 1 timeout, they want to run the clock.
Now the WAC's all-time leader in all-purpose yardage. More than 6,800 for Kerwin Williams. Returner, running back, wide receiver. A little bit of everything for the senior from Vegas. And here he is again. Williams has room. Kerwin Williams is going to bust another one. Got a man to beat. And a beautiful cutback, and he's tripped up inside the 5 by Trent Voss. Another monster run in the 4th quarter for Williams. This one for 56.
Great job of following his blocking. Great job of blocking, as we can see. So it's a counter type play. Great cross block there, and he's off to the races. One guy's furiously running him down, does a great job of cutting back right there, then tries to cut back and just, I think really just barely is tripped up. Great effort.
We'll see if they give it to Williams to pay it off now. 1st and goal. Late sub on the field for the Aggies. Play clock at 2, and they'll use a timeout.
Once again, they sort of shot my 4-minute stuff right out of the tubes.
First yard timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Former conference rivals square off Thursday on ESPN as BYU's 5th-ranked scoring defense looks to put the wraps on San Diego State's explosive ground game in the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week, Thursday at 8 on ESPN. BYU San Diego State is also live on the Watch ESPN app. Rocky Long against Bronco Mendenhall in that one. Bronco used to be on Rocky's staff. They also coached together coming up at Oregon State. I don't know if that's a throwback Mountain West game now that BYU's independent, but it's close with San Diego State off to the Big East.
And those are 2 very, very good coaches. I've gone against them many times, and they are as fine a coaches as there are in college football.
Utah State will join BYU's old conference next season, headed to the Mountain. Kerwin Williams. And he's still churning. He's in. Phil Lewis just got pushed right into the end zone
with a little help from my friends.
Second touchdown of the day for Kerwin Williams.
Great job of keeping his legs driving and then allowing the rest of the pack to catch up with him. And they just rugby scrum that ball into the end zone.
Kerwin Williams has needed to put on some weight, so he did it with a double-decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich over the years. That's right. 2 sandwiches in one. He calls it the Kerwich. And that time, that extra weight and muscle helped pay off. Maybe a bit of a Bush push at the end of this one as well from the offensive line.
They're just pushing the pile, though. They didn't grab him. They just pushed that whole pile into the end zone. And a great job of blocking up front. I mean, he's untouched through the line of scrimmage. And he does a great job keeping his balance. And then they just flat out push that whole thing in.
A school record 10 wins coming into today for Utah State. And head coach Gary Anderson, WAC Coach of the Year. And a finalist for the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year. Last year, he took Utah State to their first bowl since 1997. And they're back, and they continue on the upswing. And there's no reason to think with some of this young talent, especially a sophomore quarterback, that they can't continue this.
No, they're having great recruiting seasons. They're being welcomed very well, not just in the state of Utah, but across the nation now.
Little pooch kick finds the blue turf. Toledo hasn't covered it yet, and now they fall on it. And Dwight Macon covers it for the Rockets. We've talked about him a lot here in the fourth quarter. Well, once again, Kerwin Williams.
He's gone. It's just a question. If he finds the seam, he has the finishing speed. He's got the toughness that you need to break arm tackles. Get stopped here, but then he just says, heck with this. Put my head down. I'm going to wait for the posse to help me get in there.
Second highest rush total of the season for Kerwin Williams with 178 yards on the ground. Opener against Colorado State, he went for 205. Pass on the run as they've changed quarterbacks. Austin Danton back in the game. Completes it to Justin Olak. Here's our Capital One player of the game, Kerwin Williams, 16 carries, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 big runs when they needed him the most late in the fourth quarter. Danton again to throw. Into coverage, picked off. Another takeaway. It's Brian Sweet this time.
He was trying to throw the back shoulder throw, and the safety read it. Very difficult, because in order to have any chance in this game, Toledo was going to have to take some shots and connect on some shots. You can see the ball being thrown here, that back shoulder. Not a good placement on the ball. Probably not a good idea. Very good heads-up defense, though.
Brian Sweet's first interception of the season for the sophomore from Honolulu. Out of Punahou High School, same high school as Manti Te'o, Mosi Tatupu, Norm Chow, and a guy by the name of Barack Obama.
Did he play football?
Not that I know of.
He might play basketball.
He may have played hoops. Not sure if he played varsity, but he may have played hoops. Here's Hill on the right side. And if it wasn't for Brian Sweet, as flags come in late, defensive coordinator Dave Aranda may not be on this Utah State staff. He met Gary Anderson at a camp down in Hawaii when they were down looking at Sweet and some others, including Elvis Kamanamatagi on the Utah State defensive line. You never know where that break's going to come when you're going to meet your next boss.
After the play, personal foul, defense, number 29. That player has been ejected. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's not how Jermaine Robinson wanted his career to come to an end. With 4:14 left, ejected from this game.
No, and he's been a great player, and unfortunately sometimes frustration takes over in a game like this when you've been so close and then it just gets out of hand.
Robinson, first team all-conference safety. Kerwin Williams again. Kerwin Williams again. Touchdown, Aggies.
Maybe they should have run the 4-minute offense the entire game. They scored 3 touchdowns in a very short period of time, running the football. But they are certainly giving it to the right guy. Kerwin Williams is hot right now. He says, feed me, give me the football, block for a while, I'll find the hole. In fact, I'll find the end zone.
Here's a running back that sat behind Robert Turbin for 3 years. Got his opportunity to start this season, and he's going to finish on a high note. (34-9) here in Boise with 3:41 to go. Now let's check in with Chris Cotter. Chris, thanks. 22, Utah State with a monster performance here on their way to their 11th win of the season. School record in victories, their first ever 6-0 conference records, and an undefeated outright conference title for the first time since they were RMAC champs in 1936. The Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference in the 30s. They also got their first road win against a ranked opponent by knocking off La Tech in a game that essentially decided the league. The two toughest league games came on the road, Louisiana Tech and San Jose State. Reedy has room, and here he goes. Bernard Reedy. We were waiting for a spark, and here it is.
Just a matter of time. You kick it to him too often, he gets his hands on the ball, he's going to find a way to score.
Bernard Reedy takes it 87 yards. That's his third kickoff return for a touchdown this season.
Offside.
I think we need to prepare
team number 29
for an onside kick.
But he's declined. Touchdown.
Reedy got a great block.
That was a decleater. When you see somebody leave the ground after being blocked, that's what they call a decleater.
And that was Dan Moll's spot on the kickoff return team, but he was only out there for one play today. 2-point conversion attempt. Late subs on for Utah State. And Terrence Owens back at quarterback. Owens to the end zone, drops. Alonzo Russell has had 2 big drops today. And he's also been bothered by some cramps.
Right there for the taking. Just could not, took his eyes off, didn't look it all the way into his hands.
And so extra attention as they try to stretch out that left calf.
And I would assume, as we talked about, we're going to see an onside kick. It's the only opportunity is to keep possession of the football and to score on shot plays. As we saw last game, when the onside kick was recovered by the kicking team, it's up for grabs. It's the bounce of the ball. You have to have your best hands people out there.
First-year head coach Matt Campbell, just 33 years old, took over last year before the bowl game. Was the interim head coach for a matter of a couple of days. Your first head coaching job came at a similar age to Matt Campbell. What are the challenges as a younger head coach?
Well, I think it's coaching your coaches if some of them are older than you, and that usually is the case. It's also sometimes having players believe that you have the maturity and the experience to lead and to make the right decisions. It's just earning people's respect, which is the same in any profession. I think the age barrier is less of a factor now. I think more people realize that if you can coach, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you've been a coordinator, you can be a head coach, because really coordinators now are head coaches of their own side of the football.
Matt Campbell said that's one thing that Tim Beckman allowed him to do as the coordinator the last couple of years, was to handle his side of the ball. It's a young staff all the way around. The oldest coach is just 41 years old. Onside attempt for Toledo. There's the hop. And corralled, but out of bounds. They're going to give it to him.
Hard to tell. If he got his foot down and had possession, it would go, but if it went out of bounds, it goes the other way.
Robert Bell hauled it in with a fantastic effort on the sideline. It's Toledo football.
Wow, that was a great kick. That big hop occurred right where it would come down on the sideline. Just watch it right there. That went over the top. Got it.
The onside kick was recovered by the kicking team. First down.
Ooh, I don't know. If that's reviewed, I think that may be overturned. He has to have possession before any part of his body comes down out of bounds.
First down. Right, the ruling on the field is under further review.
Yeah. It looked as if his elbow out of bounds was the first thing to touch down once he had possession of the ball. He transfers it from one hand to the other, and if they gave him possession at that point, it looks like his legs or feet might be in right there. And if he controls that, that may be. They may have said that his toes were in bounds as he controls the ball. You see right there, His feet are inbounds. And it stays in that arm. I thought he traded it. He did not. So I could see them giving it to him. The official right there has a great view of it.
You know who we need?
In order to overturn it, you have to have irrefutable evidence. Is that correct?
Indisputable.
Indisputable. I never get that word right. I know it is. It is.
Sometimes they get picky with the language. You know who we should ask about this is Bruce Bain's mother. Bruce Bain is a replay official. I talked to him before the game. He said, after every game, I get a call from my mom, and she always tells me when I mess something up. He goes, she should be in the booth making the calls because she knows better than I do.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Toledo.
You know, I've got a mom like that, too. She tells me, she gives me a lot of advice after the games.
So Toledo, with 3:28 to go, has shuffled quarterbacks over the last couple of possessions, and they're going to come back with Terrence Owens here. A touchdown and an extra point makes it an 11. A 2-point conversion makes it an 11-point game. Before that kick return from Reedy, you said no chance. Now all of a sudden, in the wacky bowl season, who knows? Over the middle and bobbled before being hauled in only a few yards in that grab by Bernard Reedy.
The receivers tend to be trying to run before they catch the ball, and the passes have been there. You got to do a better job of looking them in.
Owens facing a blitz over the middle. Reedy again incomplete. Maybe heard footsteps. You know, that's where Reedy has been so good over the course of the season, is making plays and getting yards after the catch, especially on crossing routes.
Yeah, he was an outside receiver last year. They moved him inside to the slot, and it is a different deal going against safeties and linebackers and having to find the ball through windows rather than being more one-on-one on the outside.
3rd and 7. All of the Aggies are standing up on the defensive line.
Yeah, who do you block? Who comes, that's who will block.
They bring 4, another zone blitz to the screen, and they get it out to Pascal, and he is short of the first down by 2 yards. So 4th and 2, and Toledo will keep the offense on the field, obviously.
Yeah, this is, the world is 4-down territory now for Toledo.
Short of first down, Thaco makes the tackle for the Aggies.
Toledo putting up good numbers on the season, 53% on 4th down conversions. They got stopped on the goal line on a 4th. Stopped in the red zone on a 4th and 1. To the slant, incomplete. Trying to get it back to Reedy once again. 2:24 to go. Toledo with only 1 timeout remaining.
That should, barring a turnover, in some way cement this victory, but you never know in these kind of games with explosive offenses. But that's frustrating, you know, that you have a guy open, you go to him and can't quite corral that big 4th down catch.
Kerwin Williams has 178 yards rushing in the second half. He's next to Chucky Keaton. Keep feeding him. Another Kerwich and another big one. Kerwin Williams off to the races again. Madison finally brings him down.
I think one of the things that we have to mention right now is the loss of Dan Moles. And I'm not saying he would have made a tackle on any of the big runs, but certainly he is their best tackler, their best defender, leading tackler in the nation. Without him in the middle, they're much more porous a defense.
First 3 quarters, he was averaging just a hair over 3 yards a carry. Now he's blown up 7 for 198. Runs of 63, 25, both for touchdowns, 56 and 32, both inside the 25. Kerwin Williams again. Here, pardon me, this is Joe Hill, and Hill gets in on the fun. And Joe Hill finds the end zone. What's he doing taking the ball from Kerwin Williams?
I think Quint Kesnick hit it right on the head about 2 series ago. I think that the Toledo Rockets despite they've been tough all day today, but in the fourth quarter they lost their stinger a little bit, and it doesn't take much because Utah State's a very motivated football team. They want to run the ball, but I don't think we're getting the same look from this Toledo defense that we saw in the first three quarters.
Diaz punches it through. Utah State capping off a tremendous season. Ranked for 3 straight weeks in the AP poll for the first time in school history. They'll finish the season ranked. And the victory today will tie the team from 1962 for the winningest senior class in school history under head coach Gary Anderson. Tough trip for Toledo, but they won the bowling competition on Tuesday. Reed already has one return for a touchdown. A pause may give him some room, but he is surrounded. And so this season we say goodbye to the Western Athletic Conference as a football league instituted in 1962. And boy, did they have some offensive players. McMahon and Young with a national title for BYU in the early 80s. Marshall Faulk down in San Diego. LaDainian Tomlinson. And then on the back end, Boise State came into the league. And boy, did they make some noise.
75-4. Just, minor.
When
Kellen Moore. What a winning percentage he had.
You think about the WAC. You think of those wild. I think of those wild and crazy BYU bowl games playing out in San Diego and those big wins. Great job Kellen Moore did. The Fiesta Bowl win against Oklahoma and many more. We say goodbye to the WAC and we say hello once again to Chris Cotter.
Second down.
All right, thanks, Chris. John Beilein against the Mountaineers. Should be interesting. 41-15 here. A minute to go from Boise. To the perimeter and heading out of bounds on the completion from Terrence Owens. Jimmy Davidson with his first grab of the night.
36.
Toledo now trying to finish this game on a positive note. I know they're going to lose the game, but you take some things into the offseason for your players about how we finish that last drive. This has got to be the thing we build on. Not just the bowling trophy.
Danton pressured and dropped as Utah State is able to get to the quarterback, Connor Williams, with his 6th sack of the season. Coming up next, college basketball. 3rd-ranked Michigan at home at Chrysler taking on West Virginia. The trophy ceremony will be live on ESPN3.
Vince Benson will punch on fourth down.
Toledo will punt it away. And that's the end of the game. And a famous Idaho Potato Bowl belongs to the Aggies of Utah State. So for Quint Kesenick and Mike Blotti, our entire ESPN crew, I'm Tom Hart. A thriller here today. Don't forget the trophy celebration is coming up next live on ESPN3. But for now, we take you to John Sciambi and Bill Raftery with the call of West Virginia against 3rd-ranked Michigan in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. 41-15, Utah State with its 11th win.